Hi, we're Shannon and Jerry Arner.
And our dog, Betty White.
Your hosts of the Arner Adventures podcast.
Could we have named it something more creative? Probably. But it's the name of our blog. It's our last name. We're on an adventure. Yada, yada, yada. After owning our own business, working 24/7.
And don't forget a mental breakdown in between.
We made a lifestyle change and decided to make the most out of life.
We sold our house, most of our belongings, downsized, and moved to the coast.
We live life minimally, but fully.
We live each day as an adventure.
This show will help you learn how to live life more fully, with more intention, by experiencing more, and with less stuff.
We'll talk about our own experiences, interview others who have much to share by creating a spark in our lives.
Some days we'll share real-life ongoings of what we're going through, and others will talk about our favorite flavor of waffle.
Come join our adventure.
It's the Arner Adventures Podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Shannon.
Betty White is hanging here with us, and we are back with episode 34 of the Arner Adventures Podcast.
It's almost mid-August. Can you believe that?
I can't.
I mean, this month is flying by already.
Flying by it's flying by.
A lot of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, we haven't really planned anything this summer, haven't taken time off, and we need a vacay before the summer's over. But fear not, we have some budget-friendly vacation ideas for you, so you're not going to go without a getaway.
That's right. But first, let's get to our review of the week. This one is from Sorta Out There.
Sorta Out There? I bet Sorta Out There maybe goes out there for some getaways.
You would think.
Maybe.
You would think, right?
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Sorta Out There, we don't know Sorta Out There's name. We just know that Sorta Out There is his or her name. And Sorta Out There said, I listen when I want to learn stuff about living a cool, relaxed life. I listen when I don't want to think about anything and live my cool, relaxed life. Both are great reasons to listen and why this podcast is rad. I mean...
I love that.
It's got to be one of my favorite reviews that I've ever read.
Oh, no, well, and just the name Sorta Out There.
Sorta Out There.
I was a little excited to.
Me too.
Sorta Out There had a said, and I think Sorta Out There lived right up to the name.
Yeah.
The namesake.
I have a feeling that he or she is about the coolest and most relaxed person that has left a review, and we appreciate it.
We sure as heck do. Thanks so much, Sorta Out There. That is too cool. To the point and no frills, and yet it took you no time to leave it, and it means a whole lot to us. Thank you so much.
It does. And when you take the time to give us a 5-star review or rating, it just helps us more than you know. We're truly motivated. Not only puts a smile on our faces, but keeps us motivated to push forward on weeks where we just think, hello, is this thing on? Well, today we hope that this thing's on, and we hope that this helps give some of you who may or may not have taken some of those summer vacays and or are looking for a last minute getaway, but just don't want to break the bank to do it.
Yeah, we had Graham Brown on the podcast a month or so ago, and we talked about how travel doesn't have to be expensive, kids. So many people let money get in the way when it comes to travel or putting their lives on hold. So we thought, you know what? There may be some people who just need a weekend or a few days away and just need some ideas to do it.
Yeah. It's hot here, Jer.
Oh, it's hot, all right. You got to stay hydrated.
We've been traveling so much too, but it's easy to stay hydrated even when you're on the go and you don't have gallons of water by your side.
It sure is, with the help of Liquid IV.
Yep, Liquid IV is a hydration multiplier. It's a powder in a packet. You just throw a few of them in your bag and take them with you wherever you go.
Yeah. It's an electrolyte mix that you just add to your water. It delivers 2 to 2.5 times more hydration than water alone.
They have these really yummy flavors. Our summer go-tos right now are the strawberry and the pina colada. You know what I do sometimes is I throw a couple of packets of the pina colada, some ice and water in the blender, make myself a mocktail, hang out by the baby pool in the backyard. Oh man, I am good to go and hydrated.
That's a good afternoon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Getting creative. If you are someone who either has trouble getting your water in or just wants to get in the express lane with your hydration, you should definitely try Liquid IV.
For our listeners, if you go to their website, liquid-iv.com, and use code Arner Adventures, you can save 25% off of your order and get free shipping.
We'll link it to you in the show notes too. Liquid IV, fueling life's adventures.
So we put together a few of those ideas for you and hope that this can prompt some of you to take some time away, unplug, relax, recharge, and vacay.
That's right.
Yeah.
You
want to get started with probably your favorite one.
Yeah, I think this is undoubtedly what should be the number one. It's camping. We love camping.
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed camping a lot. And the great thing about it is it's a minimal kind of thing, very primitive.
If you want it to be primitive.
If you want it to be.
Or it can be a glamping experience.
Yeah, glamping experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of a new thing out there. So it can be any way you want it, really.
Yeah.
This can be something you do at the last minute. You don't have to go to your local camping store and stock up on a bunch of expensive merchandise. You can get a tent or for super cheap, or you can put a message on your local Nextdoor app or on Facebook, or send a text out to some friends and family asking to borrow a tent.
Somebody's got a tent.
How they say in Eastern North Carolina, borry a tent.
Do they?
I think they do. Some of them, not everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can locate a national park near you, and we will link it in the show notes.
Yeah, national parks. One time, Jerry and I were we were on the road and just looking for some places to camp, and we were like, when you don't know where you are and you're just camping, you're like, you don't want to just trust anything. And so the National Park Service is sort of a good, reliable thing to count on. So it's nps.gov/find a park. We will link it like Jerry said, but the really great thing about that link is you can sort of sort it by campsites. You can put if it is primitive, like if they have bathrooms, if they don't have bathrooms, if they have site hookups, all of that sort of thing.
Important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If there even is camping allowed, sometimes they have RV hookups. Sometimes it's only tents. There's a national park lighthouse area near us that only has tents available or tent camping available.
Yeah.
So it's a really great place to start if you're on the road or There's also this really great website called Hip Camp. And we're going to link that in the show notes as well, that we found where you can book really cool outdoor unique stays, tent camping, RV parks, tree houses, glamping experiences. They do include national parks, apple farms, alpaca farms that you can go and stay and camp.
Mm-hmm.
It's all kinds of really cool experiences. They have a really cool story on there. I won't get into it. It's just this couple that from California that they love camping.
Yeah.
And they sort of curated all of these experiences on this website and put it all across the US. And so anyway,
it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something a lot of people might not think about, but yes, go to Hip Camp and look for all these wonderful possibilities.
Yeah. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. I mean, you can really do camping on the cheap or glamp it up. So listen, we're probably not the first to introduce you to the topic of CBD or CBD oil. If you're anything like us, it seems like every time you turn around, you're seeing a neon sign for CBD sold here at your local grocery store, in a window as you're driving by, or it flashes across your screen in an online ad.
Shannon's sister told us about the benefits she was having from a brand she was using, and then we started paying attention to that brand.
Spoiler alert, that brand is Danodan. Full transparency, we get about 2 to 3 CBD brands reaching out to us every week. And it wasn't until we started digging into the research that we learned that CBD isn't always CBD. They're just not all the same.
Danodan Hempworks makes organic hemp flower infusions. They're more than just CBD. Danodan's range of hemp products dissolve easily into any liquid and support your routine by helping you manage daily stress, promote healthy sleep, provide caffeine-free energy, and recover from activity-related stiffness and soreness.
They also have CBD hemp flower infusion specifically designed for pets, and Betty White uses it every day. She loves it. We put it on her food. And with Danodan, you'll enjoy all the benefits of legal hemp, not just 1 or 2 compounds isolated in a lab. Get 20% off right now with the code ADVENTURE at danodan.com. We'll link it for you in the show notes. That's 20% off right now with the code ADVENTURE at danodan.com.
Danodan, more than just CBD.
The second thing I think is really cool, and not enough people do this. We do it now that we live on the coast, and North Carolina is a pretty wide state. We have a lot of different things in our state, mountains and coast.
Mm-hmm.
And now
so much in between.
Is house swap. Now, there are websites that you can sign up and do this. We have never taken part of those websites, so we won't even talk about them because we don't know enough about it. I do have some blogger friends and contacts who do this on like a international level where they have done some house swap stuff, but we've never done that. But what we're talking about on the cheap, some last minute, summer vacay things is same thing where if you're asking for the tent, send some texts out to your network of family and friends who live in various places and literally swap locations. Yeah. We did this recently. Some people came here to stay at our house and we went and stayed at theirs.
Yeah, it was fine. And don't confuse this with the very popular reality show a few years ago, Spouse Swap.
I think it was Wife Swap.
Was it Wife Swap?
Which is even weird.
A little more bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the houses.
It's just the house.
The couples stay together.
It's a different kind of podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yes, I mean, look, widen your circle if you want. We'd only do this with people we trust, but we are talking about your network of family and friends that you say, hey, you live, here, we live here. You want to just house swap. Sometimes it's just a change of scenery. You just need to get away. They need to get away. You just change it up. Another thing is that if you know that someone is going away, they're going on a vacation and I don't know, they have a really cool pool and you say, hey, do you mind if I, go stay at your house? We take a little mini vacay at your house. And of course, again, these are people that you know and trust and you're not invading their space and getting weird by asking some strangers this. But, if you have some family who are leaving and you say, you mind if I house sit, watch your house and keep it looking lived in while you're gone, I'm sure they would appreciate it as long as you take care of it.
Well, it's a great idea. And I'm surprised it seems so new in a way. You would think like this is an age-old idea, but I don't think it really is, though. It's kind of a new thing, but it seems like just a great opportunity to me.
It's really strange to me that there are websites. There's actually websites now about house sitting and going national and international with it. You sign up on these directories to do it and actually pay to do it. And I'm thinking, wow, that just seems really strange to me. Just like ask somebody if you could just house sit for them. But, I don't know, like pay to go and house sit for someone. That's what I think is strange.
I think so too. I would think you would maybe be paid or just be paid to be in that spot because you're vacationing.
Right. But sometimes you just need to get away. So that is super cheap and could be free. All you're paying for is the gas and whatever you need at that person's house.
Yeah, correct. I'll tell you what. And there's another one. This is the third one. I think we're going to go right into this. It's a good time for a segue. Drive to a city you've never been to for an adventure.
Yeah, we've done this several times.
Yeah. And you can have a great time.
And it's always a city that we think is going to be, sometimes we think it's going to be really lame. And the way it comes up is we go, oh, there's this brewery that we heard opened up, but it's in this city. We won't name them because we think they're going to be lame and then they aren't. But we'll say, oh, but it's over here. And I don't know. I don't think there's a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
And we'll go. And then it ends up being this really cool city or cool town.
Yeah.
And then you end up staying and having this adventure in the town you've never been to.
I think the small towns that you can discover, the little nooks and crannies, roadside America.
Yes.
Just the America that used to be kind of just the old little towns. And you discover a lot of cool little things. And they're not far away a lot of times. So
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. But I guess the idea is like kind of look what's in your own backyard and don't always get so pulled away by what might be the big fancy vacation.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be far away. Again, if visiting local vineyards or breweries or whatever it is of your interest, Google and see if there's one within 100 miles of you, and then go to it if it's in that town. And the app that and this is not sponsored, we just think it's a really great resource, is there's this app called Hotel Tonight. Some of you may have heard of it. And what we have found is I used to do this when I traveled for work a lot, but it's come in handy for us, is they have last minute hotel bookings the night of. So for those of you who may or may not know, the goal of every hotel is to fill their properties at 100% capacity every single day. That is their goal. So if at the end of a evening they have not done that, it's called heads in beds. If there is not heads in every single bed, they drop their prices last minute because they need to have the property at 100% occupancy. And so what they do, a lot of them will, if you go on Hotel Tonight, you will find that the properties all of a sudden have dropped prices. And it's interesting. You can follow the properties throughout the day and you will see them drop. So if you're in a town you've never been to, keep that app on your phone and just watch it. And sometimes you can get, 4 and 5 star hotels at motel prices. It's really, really cool. So we've had that experience before, and in cities we've never been to. And it's a really great way to have a really cool adventure for just a few days.
Yeah, no, it's another great idea. There's so many out there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one, I think, and we wanted to kind of include, we know that we're on the coast and we didn't want to leave anyone out. So I think that the thing in the summer is always, go to the beach, go find some water. And so when we say for this option is find water, what we wanted to do was, for those of you who are landlocked, we do think it's important, especially in the summer, to find water. And so what we wanted to do here was say, okay, literally find water. So of course, if you have a beach trips can be super cheap, but find lake, river, any body of water and go to it. And if you can't find a natural body of water, go to a water park. Adults, this is fun, even for adults to go and do it. It's fun to do. And if you book a trip at a local water park, you can stay at a little motel nearby. And motels are the best.
See how we're circling around here? Yeah, the little motel. At the little body of water. Doesn't have to be a big body of water. But just water. And I think people take for granted how important,
experiences.
Well, and water too. It's we're made of water. We're how much percent water?
It's like 80 or 90. It's a lot. It's a lot percent.
Well, that's you. I'm like 56%.
You don't drink enough.
Most people are about 90% water. But it's just, boy, I think that can enhance any getaway, is just being in water or just having some kind of fun in water.
Yeah.
Or around water.
And go find a cheap little motel that has a pool. Yeah. Bring a blender. Make some fun retro cocktails. Sit by that motel pool. How fun is that?
A lot of fun. Yeah.
I mean,
right down my alley.
That is fun. There you go. There's another option within an option.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
we're sort of weaving all these together.
We love a little retro motel.
Oh my God.
You make sure it's safe, and I'm all about it.
We're not safe.
No, we want it safe.
We do want it safe.
We want it safe and clean.
We want it safe and clean.
But it doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, we do like a little motel.
Yeah.
We've had some really great adventures in motels.
We have. Yeah. They can be a lot of fun. There's just, I don't know if it's a particular kind of personality, but I know that's always appealed to me. Like your old school, especially like in the mountains, the little drive-up motel.
Yeah.
Where there's 7 or 8 units right across, and then I don't know. There's some sort of aura about it.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
And I would think for a lot of people. So, and that's why we speak of it.
Yeah.
We wanted to take a pause for a second to tell you once again about how much we love Sugar Wish.
If you're a regular listener, Sugar Wish isn't new to you. You already know how much we adore the fact that we count on Sugar Wish to send gifts to people. Why? Because it's easy.
Yes.
It's a time saver.
Yes.
You know the recipient is going to love it because they choose what they want.
That's right.
And it's not a gift that's going to take up space because it's edible.
Yes.
What's not to love?
You forgot something.
What's that?
You save money because we have a code to share with our listeners.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Use code Betty White. That's all caps, one word, Betty White, to save $7 off your gift to someone. We also have the link in the show notes.
Yep. Whether you're gifting someone candy, snacks, tea, coffee, wine, or some dog treats to one lucky pup, that code works to save. Sugar Wish always saves the day. So going on the other end of the spectrum here on a larger scale, and we did want to include this because it is something that is possible, is number 5 option, actually kind of number 6 if you include the motel option, is book a cruise. Now hear us out. Some of you are like, I thought this was budget friendly, but it is. And I actually checked right before this recording and found several cruises that we could go on if we had the option like this weekend that we could go super cheap. So if you're open to the location, like you really just don't care about the location, booking last minute, aren't picky about a whole lot, you can totally book a last minute cruise, super budget friendly for a couple. We're talking about couples here. And like, if you're talking about getting your whole fam, that's a whole other story. But if you're talking about, and maybe for your family, you could do it on the cheap, but if you're talking about just a couple getting away for, 4 or 5 nights or less, you can totally do it budget friendly. There's ports all across the US. So if you're within a few hours driving distance to a cruise ship port, booking a cruise before the summer is over is totally an option, especially now while the cruise industry is doing its best to try to get business.
Yeah, no, indeed. Yeah, it's super cheap. You can do it on the super cheap. But just try to keep that as an option.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful option.
And with that being said, we're talking about a cruise without spending tons of money on a lot of other things while you're there. I mean, we're talking about going on a cruise and enjoying the experience of the cruise, the ocean, whatever ports there are. We're not talking about going and, getting their biggest drink package and all of that stuff. You can really enjoy yourself without having to do all that.
You can do it stripped down. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, in case it's something that you're interested in, if there's really great cruise packages out there, if Virgin Voyages is a cruise option that you are interested in, we do have a discount code for that. We'll link it in the show notes. It's Arner Adventures, and that gives you 40% off of your sailing.
That's right. And let me just add, the staycation, the ever important staycation that I think became probably it became a little more popular in recent years, and probably during the pandemic and all that. I think definitely during the pandemic, it became a thing. So be a tourist in your own town, because so many times, I think, and so many times if you're younger and you've moved from place to place, you move and you go, oh man, I never did like 3 or 4 of the things, and I lived there for 2 years. And so enjoy the things that are in your own backyard, so to speak, and just have a long weekend or whatever. Turn off your phone. Don't do any housework. Just basically unplug. Sit outside of your house a lot so you don't get caught up in the things you do inside your house.
I think the problem definitely for me is, like we've said before, we're going to have a staycation. For me, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think I have to, and I would recommend someone else do this too, is you would just have to tell people that you went away. Because I think if I said, okay, I'm going to stay home and have a staycation, I would still get phone calls. I would still get emails. I would feel like I needed to do everything. I would have to put everything on airplane mode.
Yeah.
And like you said, maybe get the baby pool out and back and get the blender going and stuff, and make a habit of not coming inside, and just, have a summer vacay in the backyard and hang out.
Well, and that's why people do go away, because they don't think they can get away from all the trappings of what they have around the house. So it is kind of hard to do. It takes a little bit of discipline, I think, to really work the staycation.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, here in Beaufort, we do live in other people's vacation land. But
Yeah.
I do think there are those towns like we talked about when you drive to the towns, and we've had those adventures in. I am sure that you all listening, everyone lives somewhere where there are adventures to be had. So go and take a hike or go and find whatever it is that is an adventure in your backyard, and definitely do that. Take this time. And we talked about the Get Outside challenge a few months ago, or last month or whatever,
We
but
did, yeah.
get outside and
Mhm.
do some of the things that you wouldn't normally do in your own area, for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we hope this episode has been helpful and encourages you to take an end of summer vacay. Summer isn't over, and you know what? When it is, you can still take that vacay
Yes.
anytime. You don't have to spend a ton of money to do it. You'll never regret travel or having an adventure.
No, you sure will not. And you know what else? We're going to be back next week with the return of our guest conversations. So be sure to stay tuned for those Sparking Our Lives episodes.
Indeed.
As always, you can find us at arneradventures.com, on Instagram at arneradventures, also linked in the show notes.
So until next time, enjoy the journey that you're on. We're wishing you lots of adventures.
Bye.